Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's Season 5, Episode 4, and today there's another big top of the table clash as we play third place Nottingham Forest, where things are getting very tight in the league at the top of the table and very tense off the field in the boardroom at Stevenage. So first, as you can see, things are going quite nicely on the field. We're just 4 points off second place Charlton, who we actually lost to in the last game. We were ahead of them going into that one. They were in 8th place. But that shows just how tight this league is. One win and you go from 8th to 2nd. And for us today, if we beat Forest, we could be as high as 3rd at the end of the match. So we're certainly doing really well to be competing at that end. Although there is only an 11-point gap down to 20th place Bristol Rovers. So losing 4 or 5 of these hard games in a row, and we could be right down there again. But most importantly, there's been a lot of excitement off the pitch. You can see one of the promises here is to our chairman Damien Blackwell that I won't make any job applications. I've been applying for some big championship jobs. We mentioned Millwall in the last episode, Norwich as well. We've also had interviews at Derby and Brentford, both in the top half of the championship. 2 clubs that we would have liked to have joined as well. And also FC Nuremberg in the second Bundesliga. They were expected to be near the top, but were fighting down towards the bottom. All of them would have been huge steps up in terms of club reputation and size, and would have been great moves for us, particularly to Germany, as I'm quite a big fan of the Bundesliga and the German system in general. But we've got to ultimatum point, and unfortunately, because this is a realistic save, we've got to make sure we're not unemployed. We need to pay the mortgage, so we've got to stick with Stevenage. Having said that, we have been offered job interviews by a few other clubs, mostly at this level. So Accrington Stanley, who are 23rd, they offered us a job interview. We actually declined that because they're not a particularly good side. They don't have better resources than Stevenage. And again, although they've been in League One for a few years and are more established at this level, they've always been in the bottom half and fighting against relegation. However, one we've been interviewed for in the last week, and we're currently the second favourite for, is Burton Albion. Now this one's a bit of a catch-22 for me, and I'm not sure what to do, so I'd quite like your opinion on it. If they offer us the job, they're in the bottom half of the league. So obviously in terms of on-the-field action, they're a slight step down in that sense. They've got a lot of lone players and injuries, not many youngsters at the club that are owned by them. However, they've obviously got this caveat where their facilities, they are at St George's Park, the national facility, superb training, superb youth facilities. Obviously they've got a poor stadium similar to Stevenage, and they've not got much in the coaching and recruitment. But I just don't know what to do in that sense. Do I go because they've got great facilities and I can improve the team, or do I say it's not a big step up and stay where I am? I guess it will boil down to money. Realistically, if we get offered double the wage, we'll go, and if not, we'll stick, as you would in real life. As much as I'm enjoying the team at Stevenage, it is very much the roof of their expectations. They're not putting any investment in off the pitch, and we haven't got any wiggle room in January should we be in a promotion push. So I don't know what to do in that one, but let me know what you think. And maybe another job offer will come up in the meantime. Let's have a look at the security to see what's about. There's a few abroad, but without us applying, we won't get a chance at those. The only other interesting one is Wigan. That would obviously be the same league, but definitely a step up. A recent Premier League team, FA Cup winners 9 or 10 years ago as we are in game. And although again it's a rugby league town, they don't normally sell out their stadium. It's a 25,000 seater they don't sell out. So certainly a step up in terms of facilities, and I'd imagine in budget as well. So that's one I'm interested in, but we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. Turning our attentions back to Stevenage, in the last couple of months we've done relatively well actually. You were with me in the last episode for that wonderful 4-4 draw at Portsmouth. A brilliant game of football, and unfortunately we just couldn't hold on to our lead. But we followed it up by scoring 4 again at home to Accrington. Berry, Thomas and Kennedy with the goals between them, and we never looked like throwing that one away. However, we were on the flip side of that result at Exeter in the Checkatrade Trophy second game. We completely rotated. Temelty again at left back. The likes of Pip Bannister and Lee Sanders from the under-18 started, and rejects such as David Gregory and Kieran Hayes. So we were never looking like getting a result, but 4-1 was a little embarrassing. We did get a point away on the road at Oxford. That was the following league game, Archibald with the equaliser in that one, before a disappointing 1-0 defeat at home to high-flying Shrewsbury at the time. I'm not sure where they are now. They're all the way down in 13th, so they're not looking so good since, but on the day they were a decent side, and we probably deserved to lose. Then against Chesterfield away from home, we nicked a 1-0 ourselves. Keston Davis with the early goal from a set piece, and we managed to cling on for the game. And then we got the same result at home to Scunthorpe, Wallen nicking it in injury time, a brilliant time to win the game. At home to Oxford again, this time in the FA Cup. Ferry got sent off at 0-0, it cost us the game, we lost 2-1 in the end. Ben Kennedy with a late goal to give us some hope, but we just didn't have enough in the tank as we were knackered chasing 11 players around. We then moved into the decisive final Checkatrade Trophy group game. We got to play a bit more of the first team as we had a 10-day gap afterwards. We won it 3-0, Luke Berry with a brace including one brilliant goal and Wilkinson from a set piece, and that's taken us through to the second round where we'll be playing Swindon in a few days' time. We then won at home to Bristol Rovers 3-0 again this time. We seem to have a lot of 2 in a row for the same result. Kennedy got sent off in stoppage time, but not before we took a 3-0 lead, including a goal from him. Then away to Walsall we won 5-2. We were epic in this one, 4-0 up on the road. It came back to 4-2 and then McKee got a late penalty. But a hat-trick from Theo Archibald, who had otherwise been poor in the last few months. He's probably the one we're willing to sacrifice in January if we're still here. He's on 3,600 a week, the highest paid player, because of the promotion wage rises that were in his contract, which were obviously agreed by the director of football. We don't do that. But if he goes, it would free up room for us to get in 1 or 2 players, one of which we have done already. We then played away to Charlton in our last game, as we mentioned. They jumped from 8th to 2nd, a narrow victory for them after an early lead via a Leon Smart goal. It was a brilliant move and a brilliant finish by Smart, but to be honest, we got outplayed for the most part. The one positive is we go into this Forest game today, no injuries or suspensions, we should be just about back to full strength. And we've got one signing to talk about as well. It is the man we were expecting. Joe Maguire was signed by our director of football. He was the one we mentioned in the last episode. We wanted to get in, but we couldn't agree the deal. So our director of football had agreed a contract with him, but his signing on fee was about £2,000. And there wasn't enough in the budget, so it just kept bouncing back to us if we wanted to delay the transfer. We kept doing some and eventually he rejected. Our director of football went straight in again, and this time we had enough to get it over the line. So he must have agreed a lower signing on fee. If we have a look at him, he's a 2-star left back, very much a backup option, 2.5-star potential, and he's made a couple of appearances so far. Unfortunately, by the time we did get him, Danny Andrew was just about back to fitness and had resumed duties as first choice. So it didn't really work out too well in terms of timing, but we've done okay given the injury problems we've had. So let's go and have a look at our squad for today's game against Forest. They are slight favourites despite being away from home. They won 4 on the bounce. We had won 3 on the bounce ourselves until that last defeat against Charlton. So it should be a high quality game. If we can have a repeat of the Portsmouth one, it will certainly be entertaining to watch. You can see Maguire there's not match fit on the bench. Neither's Jordan Flores, who's just come back from injury. And we've got a couple of others in the reserves now, which is a luxury we haven't had yet this year. So having 21 professional players is nice, even if that includes Hayes and Tamelty, who aren't anywhere near good enough and don't fit into our tactical shape. So the starting lineup for today is Kelleher in goal, Wilding and Andrew are the fullbacks with McCart and Davis centre half. It's all fairly familiar now. Ward is in central midfield. Ferry's just come back from his 4-game ban for that FA Cup red card. It got extended, it was a horrible tackle and he deserved the lengthy ban he got. Smart and Ward are in the middle as a result. Ward has really taken his place in the team since and done well. He's another one of the youth prospects from the club. We mentioned him last season as a key player and he's starting to become the same this year. He's done really well for us and deserves to be in the team. Then Archibald retains his place in the side. He's got back into the team after that hat-trick the other week, though Ben Kennedy is on the bench if we need him. Then we've got Berry and Georgiou joining him in the 3 behind the striker, with Lee Thomas up front, who's now got 9 goals in the league and starting to develop really nicely. He's scoring at 1 in 2 and we can't ask for much more really from the 2-footed 17-year-old. So that's the team for today's game. Hopefully they can do well. We hope Georgiou continues his good form. Now he's back into attacking midfield. And fingers crossed we can get a result to put us back in the promotion push. Similar formations, Forest opting for the holding midfielder rather than the attacking man. Is that Ryan Yates in the middle? Any of you following my FIFA series will know that he's a key man in that. He's got 99 stamina on FIFA, which means he's an absolute stalwart in the side. But in this one, he's just a good player at League 1 level. They've got Costel Pantilimon in goal. Is that Jack Robinson, the old QPR one? It is. He used to be a left back, but now he's a centre half there apparently. They've got a few other familiar names. Joe Lolly on the right wing in particular, and Todd Todd Kane at right back, I think that is. So they're certainly going to be a big test and have far bigger resources at their disposal than us. So let's just tell them to get on with it and do what they can. A bit of encouragement's never going to miss, especially after the last defeat. We've got the kick-off, it's gone back to Berry, and now Joel Ward with the ball in the centre circle. He finds Archibald. If we could score from the kick-off, that'd be lovely. Georgiou on the left crosses, Archibald's there, and I tell you what, 19 seconds on the clock, and Pantilimon has to make a brilliant save from Archibald. Georgiou with the in-swinging corner, up to the back post, cleared away. The voice is starting to go again, we're still not recovered. Been over a week now, so continuing thanks for putting up with it. Davis has the ball back on the halfway line, but the highlight ends at 0-0. Wilding with the throw-in, just a couple of minutes gone. Yates wins the header, the man we mentioned before game for them. Ward's bringing it out of defence though. Over halfway on the right, no one's closing him. Can he get to the byline? He can't. He's going to be forced backwards eventually. Just holds it up and then gives it straight to the Forest man. He's going to blame the kick clash, but I'm just blaming a poor pass. Lolly's charging at us, finds the centre forward. Good effort on goal, but it's straight at Keller who saves comfortably. Archibald with a free kick tries to smash it into the top corner, but it hits the wall and deflects about 30 yards. Berry picks it up on the left in towards the box, but the highlight ends as the ball in was aimless. It's a throw on the left for Forest. Sudani gets it back to the middle. The holding midfielder's there. Finds Rooney. 25 yards out to Sudani, the striker again. Now Robinson, who's found his way to his left, the centre half. Sudani with the shot blocked, and it's back to Rooney again, who gets it out to Todd Kane on the right. It's good to have familiar names to commentate on all the time, and the ball's deflected out for a throw-in for Forest. 15 minutes gone, and we're relatively happy with the way we're containing them. Robinson with the throw again though. Ward heads away as far as Pearce. Good to see the left back out there. Hopefully we can get them closed down quickly. Yates gets the switch to Todd Kane. Inside to Rooney. Waiting for Kane to make that run again, which he does. He's going to deliver into the box. Carvalho hits the post, and McCarr hoofs it behind for a corner. Panic stations in the Stevenage box. It's an out-swinging corner from Carvalho. Into the back post. Ward wins the header. Headed away only as far as Lolly though. Lolly coming down the left to Pearce, the left back. He gets it back inside to the holding midfielder. Out to Pearce again. Playing the ball in the middle midfield for Forest. It's very easy for them and we're not getting much pressure on, but we are forcing them backwards slowly but surely as Pearce keeps possession again with Robinson. Over the top towards the forward, but Wilding heads it away only as far as Carvalho. Now Yates out to Pearce. Is this highlight ever going to end? Normally when they're this long we see a goal or a good save, so we look like Forest are going to score here. Rooney on the edge of the box goes for the shot, but luckily it's wide and we just about survive. Forest dominating, but it's still goalless. A core of the game gone. Wilding with a throw on the right. Long ball into the area. Thomas gets there. Georgiou puts it in. Awful misjudgment by Lolly, who for some reason was the last line of defence. Headed it straight into the path of Georgiou, who finished it brilliantly with his weaker right foot. We undeservedly take the lead, but we won't be complaining. Here's Ward. Gets the ball into Smart. Out to Georgiou on the left at the byline. Deflects out to Smart on the edge. His shot's blocked as well. Finds Archibald on the right hand side to Ward. Ward finds Berry. Berry and Ward again, just keeping possession, the three of them. Smart finds Berry and Ward for the third time. Berry scored a few screamers this year, so we're hoping he'd be doing the same again, but this time he's not, he's going backwards. He finds Archibald now though, a defence splitting pass, and Archibald goes for the shot, but it's comfortably wide. We're happy with how things look after half an hour. Andrew with a throw on the left. He fools everyone. No long throw this time. I'm a bit disappointed because that's what we scored for him earlier. It's Andrew again for McCarr. Back inside to Berry. This is the perfect range, but he chooses to go right to Archibald. He cuts in, tries to curl it in at that back stick, but he's not got enough whip on it and goes wide. That is the half-time whistle then. A really good first half of football. A bit like the Pompey game, it has been high quality, but we've got the better of it this time. We really came into it after having to defend well early, and at half-time we lead 1-0 through Georgiou's right-footed strike. Let's talk to the lads, tell them how well they've done. Paul Jewell wants us to do just that. It's exactly what we're going to do. I don't think there's a risk of them getting complacent as they've had to defend so well. We're dominating possession, which will be useful in the second half. It's one of the things that has improved as the season's gone on. We mentioned that first game against Rotherham where we didn't have too much of the possession and just collapsed as the game went on. 50% we can't close down the whole game, but in the 60s we should be alright. Andrew with a big hoof clearance. Thomas does really well to flick it on, but obviously he's up there on his own, but he's forced it all the way back to Pantilimon. Rooney brings it down in the middle for Forest, charging at the defence to Yates, shoots from the edge, but it's just over the bar, had a nice shape on it, but never looked like going in. We've got a warning to close Carvalho down, which we'll do as they go long over the top. Here is Carvalho in towards the striker Sudani, but Kelleher gets down well to save to his right. We're up to 4th in the league as it stands, but 1 point separating 6 teams. So if we let in an equaliser, we're back down to 8th or 9th. Berry gets the ball out to Archibald. If we could get a second, that would be great. Into Thomas. Oh, it's a great chance. A clear-cut chance, in fact. But he's put it straight into the arms of Pantilimon. Either side, and it was probably 2-0. An hour gone, and now Archibald's got a free kick. Comfortably over the bar. And we'll think about some changes shortly as Pantilimon continues with that goal kick. Up towards the centre forward, but Smart wins the header. Falls for Yates, though. He's been forced backwards by Berry. Great work by him. Had a dodgy second half to the season when he joined us last year, but since he got properly fit in pre-season, he's been an absolute stalwart in the team. He's been helped by Flores' injury, but he's really stepped up to the plate and done a good job. Georgiou charging in from the left. It's a good tackle, but only as far as Ward. He goes for the shot. I thought he was trying to pass it in for Archibald, but it was just greedy and deserved to go a long way wide. 20 minutes to go. We'll make some subs after this attack. Another long throw causing problems. It's back out to Wilding again. Georgiou at the back post. Shots blocked to Berry. Good last-ditch challenge from Forest. And now is Sudani on the counter-attack. He's got a man in the middle. We've left him unmarked, but the cross is deflected behind for a throw. And now we will make our subs. You can see Archibald again's been one of the weaker links. We'll bring Kennedy on for him. Lee Thomas hasn't had the best of games, but we're not going to change that yet. Smart's coming off for Ferry, and we'll leave the other sub for 5 minutes. I'm thinking Flores for Berry. We're trying to keep him fit, get him back into the first team fold. We have got the Checker Trade Trophy game in a few days, so the likes of Walland and Flores can come back in if need be. Ferry and Kennedy will both get 90 minutes too. Justininho, what a name that is, by the way. Out to Sudani again. I won't try and pronounce it again because I'm sure that was wrong. Sudani finds Rooney. Rooney's got the ball in the middle for Forest. Out to the right back again. He gets it back to Rooney. Now Elsnick. They've got 2 or 3 subs on and they're causing trouble for us. Keston Davis has been a stalwart at the back again. An absolute colossus in the air. But Morello gets it on the floor. It's Morcillo, sorry. I thought that was an E. I'm all over the place with the name pronunciations, so I'll just give up with them. 10 minutes to go. Luke Berry will come off. We want to bring on some fresh legs up there, so Flores will just get 10 minutes, which will warm him up nicely for the Checker Trade Trophy game. Forest have evened up the chances in this half, so we'll have to go defensive in the last few minutes, should we still be ahead. It's a throw on the right for Forest. Robinson takes it. Ward wins a header though, but it's only as far as Yates. Now the substitutes are combining for them. They go back to Robinson on halfway. Yates out to the right to Todd Kane. He's charging at the fullback. No one pressing him. Sudani, who's cutting in from the right now, goes for the shot, but it's just wide of the post, and we're still surviving with 5 minutes to go. 2 minutes left. Ferry with the delivery. McCarr knocks it down. Georgiou with the strike. It was going into the top corner, but a great block by the defender. Ferry's cross is blocked, and it's straight into the arms of Pantilimon. We're going to drop to cautious, and hopefully we can hold on. Robinson's throw's headed away by Andrew. It's fallen to them on the edge again, though. Ward charges it. Brilliant work from him. They're putting their bodies on the line, to be fair to them, as Robinson picks it up in the middle again. Here's Yates out to Todd Kane. It's 3-on-3 in the box, but Kane's been closed down well, and Gianni Andrew wins it back. Almost forgot his first name for a minute there. Georgiou charging forward on the counter to Flores. He's got a man over on the right. It's fallen for Kennedy from the challenge. Shoots from the edge and it deflects behind for a corner. We've paused the game so we can go to time wasting. Set pieces, disciplined, and the usual drill in both saves. Regroup, hold our shape and slow the pace down. 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. Let's see if we can hold on. It's Kennedy with the corner, delivers it into the back post. McCarr knocks it down. Pantilimon tips it over under pressure from Flores. And that's where we want to see the ball with a couple of minutes left. 30 seconds to go though, and it's Sudani on the right. Wilding heads it away. Kennedy flicks it on. A grandstand finish here as Todd Kane on the right. It's deflected by Georgiou this time. That's where he's really improved from playing left back for a while. Yates gets it out to Pearce. That's Forest left back. Into Carvalho in the box. Into Morcillo. Elsnick. It's blocked and now Carvalho again. The voice is going, we can't hold on much longer, but we don't need to as the final whistle goes. We nick it 1-0. It deserved to have more goals than that this game. A brilliant performance defensively though. Keston Davis man of the match, and the 2 fullbacks well in the 7s. Georgiou deserves a special mention for his goal and his work rate, and we managed to nick a brilliant win and move into the top 6. Paul Jewell wants us to tell him it was excellent. We are going to do exactly that. Magnificent work. Congratulations to the boys, and hopefully hopefully we can round off a brilliant week with qualification in the Checker Trade Trophy. We're up to 5th as Bolton managed to nick a winner in the 90th minute, but we didn't expect to be there after the first game of the season, with Rotherham down in 18th place. So brilliant work from the boys, and I tell you what, now we're in the playoff places, we should be getting attention from bigger clubs. There's confirmation of the win. We've been really solid at home against the lower teams, but this one was against one of the top sides where we've often struggled. We'll have a quick look at the schedule, but I don't want to be too committal on when we'll come back, as obviously there's going to be a few jobs in the running and we may well have moved on. Obviously the most interesting one could be this Burton one in the middle of January, because we could be managing either side in the next episode. So if I say I'm going to come back for that one and you don't know which team I'll be managing, that could be quite interesting. But obviously there are plenty of other jobs on the go. We're starting to get offers and interviews without even applying, which is great, even though the Accrington and Burton ones are only at this level. It's something that probably didn't happen enough in previous versions of FM. It's a shame it's not the Torquay save really, because in that one I can't move clubs, but I keep getting offers from the Championship. So hopefully we'll get one sooner rather than later here, especially now we're in the top 6. If we can get through in the Cup, we'll certainly have a good looking CV. Let's not forget, after a year and a half, we'd been sacked from 2 jobs, had failed at both miserably, and were taking over at Slough in the bottom end of the Panorama National League South. So to be here less than 3 years later is absolutely remarkable, and we're absolutely delighted with the position we're in. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do regarding the Burton job, should the offer come along. Obviously they could make me a financial offer which solves the problem, as we have to be realistic in this save. If they double or treble our salary, we have to take up the option. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one The Head Coach and my other series with Torquay United. There's also weekly content from FIFA 19 and FM19 Touch, where we're continuing our Newcastle challenge for one more season. But a massive thanks for watching this one as always, and continuing to put up with my croaky voice, and we'll see you next time where we may be at Burton managing against Stevenage.